Hi, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title of the video, you know what I'm gonna do. So, I know that this tag is typically like someone's first video on their channel. I didn't want it to be my first video. I just wasn't like feeling it. I just wanted to like do my wrap-ups and stuff. But recently I've been wanting to do the booktube newbie tag, and I feel like I'm still within like my rights to do this tag because I'm not super consistent. I'm not super consistent, and I'm not like established. Like I'm still very much like within like the newbie world of like booktube. So that's like my thinking. Everyone has seen at least one person do this video. I will say though that I've seen really older versions of this tag, and then I've seen people as like recently do it like last year, and like some of the questions were like, some questions were like added or something. I don't really understand why, but I can't find the creator of this tag, so let me know if like you know who created it, if you can like send me a link or drop their name or something, because like I want to give credit but like I don't know who created this tag. So I'm just gonna do the questions that like I found some people doing. I don't know if it's the right questions, but I'm just gonna do it. So question number 1 is, why did you start this channel? Kind of the same reason why everyone else would start a booktube channel. I wanted to talk about books like at length. I already have like a bookstagram that I'm very consistent on, but that felt more of like a creative way to talk about books or share my love of books, because Instagram is very like visual, and like yeah, you can like talk about your love for books like on the descriptions or if you want to like DM people, but I felt that the way my bookstagram is kind of going, that it's more of like a visual thing, and I wanted to like talk about the books, and obviously this is like the best medium for that. Maybe in like middle school I had some friends that had the same like reading tastes as me, but like now pretty much not really. The only people who like read in my family are like my younger brother, who mostly reads manga if he ever feels like reading that, and my mother, who reads more like businessy, like self-help, how to be a better manager type stuff. Like that's her vibe, which is not my vibe. The second question is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to booktube? Nothing. That's a lot of pressure to put on someone who's like very happy being like a basic person. I'm very fine being like a basic bitch. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't really thrive on being like not like other girls or anything like that. Again, like my creativity is like more on my like Instagram. I'm fine just doing wrap-ups, maybe the occasional TBR, even though I don't really like setting up TBRs for myself. I've been having fun doing dedicated reviews. I guess the only thing like different or unique about me is that I occasionally pick up more like self-published or like indie authors, but like that's not super unique. A lot of other people do that. But yeah, I'm like fine being a basic bitch. Like, the third question is, what are you most excited about for this new channel? Again, kind of like a basic answer, but creating a community which I can like be a part of, that I can like talk to people about like what I enjoy. It will also be like really interesting to see if like my reading tastes change, because at this point like I only really read like fantasy, or like I'll occasionally pick up something in another genre, but like I don't really know like specifically what I like. So that'll be cool, like looking back to see like how I change as a reader. The next question is, why do you love reading? The most like popular answer is like the escapism, which duh, that's also like really fun. I mostly read fantasy, so that's like a huge part of like the enjoyment of reading fantasy. But another reason why I really took to reading was because it was something that I could always just do by myself. It's not like I didn't have friends or like I didn't have like a good relationship with like my family, but like I was always just like a bit of a loner. That's just me. And reading is like fun and enjoyable, and it's something that I got the most out of while being alone. Like I would devote my time to a book, and in response that book would give me so much like emotions, like fun, vibes, whatever. Something that was always just like there for me. So the next question is, what book or series got you into reading? Let's be honest here. Twilight was my jam. I had like the tote bag, I had the t-shirt, I had the huge posters. I had like the Twilight Seen It board game edition, whatever it was. Twilight was everything to me. And before that, I'd always been like someone who liked to read, but like after Twilight, I became a reader. Like that was like part of my brand. And yeah, like I had so many good memories of like reading that series. I remember there'd be days, like Saturdays or Sundays when I had like nothing to do and I just like lay down and reread like the first or the second book. I had so much fun like going on like message boards and forums and just like talking to strangers about something that I really enjoyed. Obviously, like now looking back at it, it's like not a very good series. There's some like problematic stuff, but it did turn me into a reader, and like I do owe it that at the very least. The next question is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? I guess the question that I would ask is like, how do you prevent yourself from getting burned out? Because my thing is, for a booktuber who does this like consistently and has like 2 to 3 videos up a week, you obviously like enjoy doing this, but how do you deal with this hobby, or if you want this to be your career, like how do you maintain like the funness of it without it being like, oh, like now I have to like sit down and film a video? Because at this point for me, every video that I filmed, which isn't like a lot, right, I don't post every week, has been a video that I wanted to film. Like I've never felt like I was forced to. If I didn't want to film something that week, I wouldn't. Obviously the easiest answer would be like just make yourself a schedule and stuff like that, but like when you schedule things, it becomes like more of like a duty or like a job, as opposed to like, I want to sit down and talk about something that I enjoy. Like how do you not get burned out? Because I'm also the type of person who, when I find something that interests me, like I want to like dive in and like do the most. That behavior is like prone to burning out. So the next question is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Probably time management. I'm like terrible with time. I'm the laziest person in the world. This is like really time consuming for me, I found, because the editing part is such a bitch. Like I hate editing. I haven't found a way to like make it fun yet. So like when I read like 10 to 15 books a month, I like dread the editing of a wrap up, because I know it's gonna be like an hour of footage and it's gonna take me like 2.5 hours to like edit it. And I don't know if my computer's just like trash, but like to actually render or export the video takes like so much time, and it's so frustrating to me. So it's like the time part that I hate the most. So the next question is, when did you start reading? At a pretty young age, I was always like encouraged to read. I was one of those students where your teacher would pull you aside and tell your parents like, oh, they're reading at like a higher level, so you should really like encourage that in your child. And that was me. So I'd always read, and I'd always go to the library every weekend with my mom and my brothers, and it was always fun. But it wasn't until like Twilight that I became like a reader. I did take a break in college. Well, middle school was like when my reading like exploded, and then in high school I was really busy with like music and stuff, so it kind of died down a little bit. I'd occasionally like pick up like the hottest new book, like The Hunger Games or Divergent or whatever, but really in college, it like your soul of a reader gets like sucked out of you, because college is so stressful and there's always like required reading and like essays to write and all this work. And so the only thing I'd really read in college was comic books, because they were like pretty quick to get through. And it was only until like maybe junior, senior year of university that I actually got back into reading. So that's pretty much like my journey as a reader. I think my life path as a reader is pretty similar to like a lot of other people too. So the next question is, where do you read? Mostly my room, laying down. Sometimes if I'm playing like something really chill on my PC, I'll have like an audiobook in, or if I'm playing something more chill, like a turn-based game or something, I'll like read a page, take my turn, read another page, take my turn. It's like anything kind of relaxing. I got into like audiobooks a lot last year, so when I do chores, I have an audiobook playing for me. But yeah, mostly my bedroom. If I need like a change of like scenery, my living room, but it's mostly like my room that I'm reading. And the last question is, what kind of books do you like to read? So mostly like fantasy. I have like these 3 tall shelves on this side of the wall that are just fantasy, occasionally sci-fi, and then next would be probably like mystery thrillers, and then after that historical fiction, And then I used to read a lot more like nonfiction in university because of my classes and stuff. But mostly a lot of my fantasy has like sci-fi elements or mystery thriller elements or romantic elements, so that's kind of where I get my fill for other genres. I've been wanting to read more like darker contemporaries or like hard-hitting contemporaries, but I have to like really be in a specific mood for that. Same with like lighthearted contemporaries. It's like a specific mood I have to be in, because for the most part, like, I will always choose fantasy over anything else. And that was the last question. Pretty simple, straightforward. I didn't really prep for this, so like if my answers seem kind of like boring and basic, I didn't really sit down and try to create something unique. It's just the booktube newbie tag, like you've seen them before. I hadn't really talked about myself at length in any other video, so I thought this was like a nice break between like wrap-ups and stuff. Let me know if there's other tags that you enjoy watching. Maybe I'll do them as well. I will link all my socials down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.